Hi, everybody. If you're watching on Instagram, go to YouTube. Doing the YouTube live stream right now. So if you're on Instagram, you're going to be able to hear me talk, but you won't be able to hear the guitar. So I mean, you can hear the guitar. You can also hear how horribly out of tune it is. So how's it going, everybody? Let me tune my guitar. I hope everybody is having a good Thursday. It's just like last week. Thursday is the end of our work week for the most part. But it was a short week, holiday week. Mic seems low. Okay, hold on. Let's see. The mic seems low. Check, 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 check. Let me get in here. Into console. Again, if you're on Instagram, join us on YouTube. Check, 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 check. Is that better? Is that better? Check, check, check. Does that sound better, you guys? Way better. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So one last time, Instagram, join us on YouTube. And yeah, so what is today's live stream about? Today's live stream is about pickups. In fact, the Mythos pickup set that I've been working on for what feels like forever. I've been trying to do this myself. I've been working with various winders, trying to find something that really connects to me as a guitar player and as someone who is 100% a snob when it comes to electric guitar sounds. So, I mean, sometimes that can be a bad thing. I think in some instances, like if you're going to try to sell something, you want it to be good, and it's a good quality. So these are essentially the final prototype of the Mythos pickup set in a Revolta Regatta. This was a major blend guitar that Wes from Revolta gave me to use as a pickup tester. I also have my other pickup tester behind me that we can mess with that has some different pickups in it. Big Wave Dave, hello. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you so much. Getting a lot of questions. Kind of save them till the end or later in the stream. What I'm hoping to do, if this guitar can stay in tune, I haven't restrung it in a long time. We're going to run through some of the sounds. I'm just going through the Tone King Imperial plugin from Neural DSP. No pedals today, just trying it with the plugin. We'll compare it to some other pickups, and then we'll talk about it. And again, Instagram, join us on YouTube. So, what are these? These are approximations of classic PAF style pickups. They are not by any means a clone of a pickup. I didn't have one thing in mind when I set out to have these wound or made. I did this with the intention of making what I think is my closest approximation to a classic PAF type sound. I'm going to turn off the Instagram stream here. There we go. So run through a couple sounds. I've got the Imperial set about as clean as I can stand it, and we're in tune. If the volume for the guitar, excuse me, needs to go up, let me know in the chat. Sorry for the sniffling. Sorry for the frog in my throat. I've had some allergies. So here is the neck pickup in the regatta here. Here's the middle position. Calcidice, super chat. Thank you. Got a Gibson Victory guitar. Thanks to my recommendation. That's awesome. It's been a long time since I played one. Here's the bridge pickup. This guitar needs some new strings so bad. I didn't have any clue that it was going to be slipping out of tune like this. I'm gonna tune it again. But basically, I hope that gets across kind of the general voice of these pickups. They are not too hot, especially the neck. The neck's pretty low output. The bridge is a little bit hotter than the neck to really keep them balanced. This one in particular is a little bit hotter than what I think the final production will be. The final production will be wound down just the tiniest bit to have it be a little less pokey. And again, let me know in the description if the volume is okay. So I'm going to switch it over to the lead channel of this Imperial. And run through some sounds. So yeah, I think we're getting enough juice. So these, like I said, aren't super hot, but the neck gives you that nice airy PAF-like quality. Which I think one thing that you listen for a PAF style pickup is listening for that pick. Like not someone's playing, but the actual pick itself. I feel like the best pickups let you, I mean, they're microphonic, right? And they should be able to pick up all the subtleties of your playing, but they should also be able to really hear the string scrape and all that stuff. That sound. And they should also clean up as well. And that has a lot to do with your guitar and the volume pot. This thing is just stock. I'm just going through the stock electronics, which is important. They're not bad, but they're nothing to get too excited about. But the dynamic range. Roll the volume back up. That's all the way up. It's really there, and it gives you all that connection, and that was something that I really wanted. And in combination with that kind of raspy top end that blooms after you hit a note and hold it. that sort of thing. I don't like it when the strings kind of they hit their note and then they kind of die out. And I think the pickup is the biggest part of letting the note have the attack, and then the pickup determines where it's going to go, right? Uh-oh. My wife's calling me. 2 seconds. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you guys heard that. Getting the sound into the live stream has been quite the journey. Trying to get the plugin to go to OBS, to go to YouTube, to function how I want it to, and then come back to my ears. And just relying on software, not having to have like an amp, underneath the desk. But anyway, what are we talking about? So that was something I really wanted to have that. I'll switch back to the rhythm channel. That lead channel is a little, it's got a little pokiness. Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of great questions. I'll try to go back to those and get through them. And we talk about what makes these special, what makes them different, what's the formula, what I can share, all that stuff. We'll get to that. Going to the bridge position. I might switch back to the dirty channel, but there's this thing that I feel like good humbuckers have, at least good traditional humbuckers have, where they kind of have this raspy top end. And again, I think that's hearing the pick. The subtlety and dynamic range, you need that. And then when you dig in hard, it needs to compress, but it shouldn't compress immediately. It should have a little room to breathe. So if you're playing in different positions, you're playing, in between the pickups or near the bridge. It's going to pick up all those differences. I mean, obviously it's going to pick up the difference between playing here and playing here. But you want to be able to use all this stuff at your disposal to give you all the dynamic control, and the pickup has to reflect that. And these are all the little things that I was doing, making McKinley and Jeff and then everyone else subsequently around us suffer by hearing me go, you hear that? You hear that? What? Those are the things I've been doing for, not just with them, but for a little over a year or so now. It's been longer than that. And we finally landed on a combination that sounds how I want it to sound. So, what is it? They are traditional wire gauge. So I guess that's 42 gauge enamel wire. Just like what Gibson would have used. The magnets have got, I've tried the neck. I knew I wanted to go either Alnico 4 or 2. For the longest time, it was Alnico 4. It felt very even. But then when I started comparing it to other guitars that I genuinely love and think sound better than any other guitar around, I decided to go to Alnico 2 in the neck. In the bridge, I went through everything, pretty much. I started with a rough A2, pulled that out, put in a rough A3. Didn't like that. Didn't like that one at all. Sorry. Didn't like that one very much. Put in an unoriented A5. Didn't like that one at all. That one was lifeless and boring. Went back to an A4, which had been in previous sets that I'd messed with, and then settled on an A2. So my initial thought with all this was to go double A2. And I initially, when we were trying it, it just didn't work. But now I've got with other prototype sets, it never worked right. But with this set, with these specs, it's everything. It is kind of in the Goldilocks zone. And so far as how they're wound, some of these questions I'll probably have to talk to the company that's winding them. So this is these sets are being made by Porter Pickups. Brian and company are great, really nice guys. They make good stuff, and they're really easy to work with and talk to, and we're all able to like work together and come together on everything we need, which is ultimately the most important thing, being able to communicate and move the needle, right? So I don't know how they're wound. I assume they're machine wound. I assume he has some sort of auto traversal system. I doubt he's scatter winding. Traditionally, humbuckers are not scatter wound. By that I mean using your hand to traverse the wire across the bobbin and not have a machine do it. All vintage Gibsons were wound by machines. So fenders were wound by people, or at least they were hand guided by people. I don't like the idea of hand wound. I know there's some people apparently that are turning a machine and hand guiding the wire. When I think hand wound, I think someone literally like spooling up a yo-yo, and no one does that for the most part. Apparently there are some people that do it. I can't imagine doing that for thousands, 5,000 plus turns. But you know, apparently it happens. There are some other secrets that I don't want to share that are part of why I think these sound the way they do. And these have just been in this guitar since we landed on this pickup magnet formula. So these are going to come out and go in other things eventually. And we're going to, you know, hopefully have sets ready to go really soon. But let's go back in time a bit to I think this was 2019. It may have been 2020. The pickups that are in this Yamaha Revstar are the first, or one of the first, rather, proto Mythos pickup sets that I got. I worked with Jared Brandon from Brandon Wound, and he made me a few sets that just never kind of hit the mark. And so I talked to the guys at Mojo Tone, and they wound these. And while I liked them, there was just something about it that I was never too happy with. So you guys are going to hear these in this guitar, which is, you know, like a really basic platform to hear a guitar. You know, to hear a pickup, rather. It's a pretty normal guitar. I like this Revstar. The new ones are way better, though. The new one's in a gig bag back there by my PRS cab. So, okay. So, in almost all the sets I got, I really liked the neck. I thought the neck pickup has to be the easiest one to get right. I think in this set, they're Alnico 4 in the neck, and it may be a 5 or a 2 in the bridge. I cannot remember. But you can hear, I mean, like, I haven't changed anything in the presets. This is just the guitar. Everything full up. Like, it's okay. But it doesn't have that same character and and airiness that I was hoping for. And while it's a totally serviceable neck pickup, oh man, it just wasn't quite doing it. But the bridge, I could just never could get happy with the bridge. And it sounds fine. And when we add a little gain, I mean, you're going to get away with so much more, because I feel like with humbuckers, adding gain lets you kind of hide your crimes. You can take a not so great guitar, not so great sounding guitar, rather, slap some gain on it. You get some of that compression happening. You get some of that breakup and a bit of a mask. And the pickup sounds better. The guitar sounds better. At least in my opinion. Having humbuckers sound good, clean, I feel like is the hardest. So this was the initial test. And again, I thought the neck, even with the gain, you can hear it. It really kind of does that chirpy sing thing. Not quite as well as these others, though. And that's kind of like the whole point when you're doing this kind of thing. Man, why is everything going out of tune so bad? This is really embarrassing. Whoa! Why? That's embarrassing. That was awful. I'm sorry. Sorry for all that. The sniffing. The out of tuneness. Jacob, the visual guy, asked, is that the set that you tried? And I believe it is. I believe that it was a set that you tried. So, yeah. Well, now I'm going to get probably one of the best sounding guitars I have and plug it up. We're going to tune it. Hopefully it stays in tune. And see how that goes. Okay. So, this guitar is my PRS McCarty 594 Hollow Body 2. It's got a long name. It is very out of tune. It was in tune with itself, but you think, oh, why didn't he tune his guitars before the live stream? I was working. I'm sorry. But this guitar I rewired because the stock pickups were good. They really were. But the bridge just needed a little more output. And it had this sort of thing that I couldn't put my finger on it. And it took me a while to realize that the thing I didn't like, the sound that I was hearing that I didn't like, was the pickups. And I called Jacob, the visual guy, because he's my pickup dude. He's my pickup guru. And we talked at length about this guitar and the stock pickups. And so I had a set of throwback SLE 101s, just the normal, standard throwback set, floating in the ether. They had come to me and then gone to England and floated around. Chris Buck had them for a minute, and I got them back. And the leads, I don't think had ever been cut. So I said, let's put them in the PRS. And this PRS, just acoustically, let's see. Let's see if you can hear that. Is so alive and so incredible. The neck shape is perfect. The attention to detail is perfect. It is a unbelievable instrument that I feel very fortunate to have. And anyway, threw these pickups in it, rewired it the 50s way, put in Lux caps, did the whole thing, right? And it just completely took an already great guitar to the highest echelon that I could ever hope to bring an instrument. Sorry. I just love this thing. I hope it's coming across how I'm gonna kind of increase the gain on this plug-in here. So that's the neck. Man, I'm dying. Add a little Red Bull on top of an allergy-ridden human. Here's that's the in-between position. And here's the bridge. All my guitars are absolutely fighting me today. This is quite embarrassing. Mythos Pickups, where do you send your money? You'll find out. They're going to be they'll all be sold direct. And how I'll just go ahead and tell you guys how it's kind of going to work, right? So man, I don't feel good. I might have to call this stream pretty quick. It's not feeling great. I'm gonna do the pickups in sets of 10, right? I'll have 10 sets that'll be available, and we'll sell them. And depending on how quick, we'll get another batch, and we'll do them in batches like that, so we can. I don't get overwhelmed with a huge amount of inventory and money I have to spend up front stocking these, having them wound for me. And Porter doesn't get overwhelmed by me asking them to do huge batches. So. This guitar absolutely rules. So I want to go back to that lead channel. Neck pickup. Here's the in between. Do I ever blend the pickups? Sometimes. Usually what I'll do is if I go in between, I'll roll the neck back just a hair. So here's both full up. Here's the neck back. Here's just the bridge. Here's the neck rolled back on in between. Pretty close. And the neck again. This guitar is beyond words. It's so special, and it's just one of those instruments that once you get it and play it, you're like, well, shit, can't top that. At least for this style of guitar. And it's funny because, you know, I have my Les Paul, which does the Les Paul thing. Try them out of phase. These are not out of phase pickups, so sadly can't do that. I have my Les Paul, but this is just a different animal. The fact that it's fully hollow. There's a little bit of a block thing by the bridge, but it sings in a different way. So let me tune again this thing, and we'll go right back to that dirty channel and hear them. Brass tacks, wax potted, price. The pickups are gonna be. They're not gonna have the brass screws on the back because I don't think that matters. They're not gonna be wax potted because I don't like wax potting. And the price is to be determined. We'll see. They're not gonna be cheap, but they're not gonna be crazy unreasonable either. They're gonna live like very comfortably next to Fralin, Lawler, even Duncan. Looking up a set of antiquities, I was kind of surprised at how expensive they were. And while antiquities are very good, they're also very, you know, mainstream, right? Okay, here we go. Bridge pickup on the Mythos set. I mean, they sound really good. And the reason I even brought the PRS and bring it up is because that is my benchmark. So here's the neck. Guitar needs a setup. So this guitar has a funny story. I think I told it on another stream. But this guitar arrived off its pallet, and the neck and the body were no longer connected. So Wes lined it up best he could. I mean, for a guitar that literally had the neck off of it, there wasn't much like blowout from the neck joint, and put it back and glued it. And it's on there now. But it's never going to be perfect because the neck was off and things can be just a fraction out. The tuners, the top tuners got like the high E and B got totally jacked. RJ, hello. But you know, it's a free guitar, and for what it is, it's a great playing guitar, and it sounds good, like just acoustically, and even the stock pickups were great. But this is totally a major upgrade. Here's the in between. I'll roll the volume back on this lead channel. And I think it sounds really good. Because we have been shooting it out. We shot it out with the Les Paul, the PRS, the TCS, other Novos that are literally right through that door. And it does have Trey Anastasio vibes, especially you take that pickguard off. Kind of Languedoc-esque. Oh, sniffy. But I'm excited. Roll the tone back. Oh. Again, this guitar was in 2 pieces, so I'm not too worried about a little scratchy pot. Yeah, that's not worth. But anyway, I'm totally out of my mind. The Dayquil has got me a little foggy. But I hope that this gives you guys a little bit of an idea of what I'm hoping to accomplish. This is the first set. This is the first idea of what I want Mythos to become. Because Mythos to me was always more than a pedal idea. It was, I want to do pickups, and eventually I'd love to do guitars. But that's a lofty goal, a very expensive goal, and something for down the road. But I think that these have really hit the nail on the head. The chirpy quality, the bloom that you'd expect from a PAF, the dynamic control, everything about them is kind of what I envisioned. So the production set, the neck's going to stay the same. The bridge is going to be just the tiniest bit lower output. Oh, and Mythos amps. Yes, lest we forget. That seems to be the hardest goal of all of them right now. But yeah, the bridge is going to go down just like I don't know, a couple hundred turns, just a little bit to drop it. Because as it sits right now, what you're hearing is around 7.6 and then 8.8 ish. Depends on the temperature, the barometric pressure at which you read pickups, what you're going to get. But I want to go back to the PRS real quick so you can hear those, because those are considerably lower output. Not considerably, but slightly. you totally get. I think the fact that it's a little hotter is contributing to that bloom thing. You know. I mean, the fact that a guitar that had the neck broken, and I'm so sorry for my nose, and everything that you know, this is like the perfect bass line, can sound that good compared to a guitar that costs. I mean, just the guitar to guitar. If that guitar wasn't a blem, just a new guitar, it's 3 times more expensive for this guitar, and the pickups in here are over $500. So you have such a huge investment, and the fact that these pickups elevate this guitar to this level is, in my opinion, pretty great. And I'm really excited about the direction that we're going with this. So now, give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Now I want to talk about other things. We can field some questions. So hit me up with some questions that you guys have. Just put it in the chat there. And I got some pedals to show you guys, some of the new stuff. And yeah, I hope that gives you a little insight into the pickups. I'm so disappointed that I have this head cold thing, because it's going to make watching this back kind of... But start typing some questions. I want to show you guys some of the new stuff. So right here, I have the buffer. Let me pull up. There we go. The buffer. So this is something that I had made in the past. I had made a buffer years ago. Geez, this had to be like 2018, and I never sold that many, and no one ever seemed to care. And I might have been too young to even have attempted to make a buffer pedal. You know, people may not have known or trusted Mythos enough yet, and it was kind of expensive because I was doing a lot of it by hand. So this is the buffer out of a Mjolnir, every Mjolnir, the Wildwood, the standard one. It's all the same, except this is made to run at 9 to 18 volts, so it can handle pretty much any voltage. But it is a Klon style buffer. It has a 1 meg input impedance, 1K output impedance, and sounds really good. And I mean, that's kind of all it is. It's just like, it's a Klon buffer. It works. It has an in and an out, and that's it. And it takes 9 to 18 volts. At 18 volts, it's really kind of bright and sparkly. At 9 volts, it's pretty, short cable-ish sort of thing. It just brings back all the sparkle. Even with, normal cables, 10-foot cables, this will add a lot of vibrance. Oh, seeing some great questions. Okay. Braided single wire or multi-lead on the pickups. This is going to be braided. No, not tappable, splittable. I think that matters. I know a lot of people agree with that, but I need to reiterate that to the guys at Porter, because the first set were splittable, and then this set is just braided. So I need to make sure that they remember that, because I'm thinking back at my email and I can't remember if I put that in the spec on the order. So you cannot split them. Are they nickel covers? Yes. So we are using the nickel covers that a lot of people are billing as a PAF replica cover, where they say they scanned a PAF cover. They're not exactly that. They're not like a They're not like a throwback or a DMC, Dead Man Club, or even any of those guys. Even Bare Knuckle, I feel like do a really accurate PAF style pickup cover. These are just, I mean, they have a good shape. They're a little bit more square than your average like Gibson or Duncan pickup. A little more TV. They don't have as quite of a noticeable dish, little or dimple on all the pole pieces, but they look good. They sound good. There's no copper under there. It's just a nickel silver with a nickel plate. But they look nice, and they're going to relic. We're not offering any cover options. They're not going to be relic versions. They're just going to be shiny nickel. I think the only person that's getting anything relict is Rhett. Asked for his Les Paul because he wants to put him in his Les Paul. For me to do a relic set for him. So, the guys at Porter are gonna not solder on one set of pickup covers for me, and then I'm gonna age them, which is fun, and I like doing it. And I've done it before, and they turned out pretty good. So, yes. When will the pre-order be announced? I'm not gonna do pre-orders on these because they're only giving me 10 slots. So. I will let you guys know well in advance, way before, like one day before. I'll do like a week ahead of time to let you know that they're going to be up. And if they sell out really fast, we will immediately turn around and do another batch. So, and these guys know what they're doing. They know how to keep them consistent. So, batch number 2 should sound exactly like batch number 1. Let's see. Thoughts on the Marshall JVM? I remember playing one years ago and thought it was okay, but it's been a long time. So, the pickup project sounds really interesting. It has been quite the journey. So I've had Mojo Tone wound me a set. Brandon wound me a couple sets. Porter wound me one set previous. That was the basic idea of this, and then I had forgot to tell them not to pot them because I had told them over the phone, but I didn't write it down. If you ever do anything, if you're ever working with somebody, if you're ever collaborating on a project, send everything in an email, not in a paragraph. Make bullet points, clear and concise, because inevitably somebody's going to miss it. And those pickups sounded good, but as soon as we got these unpotted ones, it was like, that's the thing I wanted. So, again, I've made some myself. I've wound just a handful, very small number, and some of them sound okay. Some of them sound terrible, like just not even embarrassing, level of sound coming out of pickups that on paper should work and sound great, but when you don't know what you're doing, that's what you get. 10 units will be sold in 3 minutes. They very well could, but they're not going to be cheap. So I'm hoping that the people that really want them can get them. You'll be excited to compare them to the Brandon wound set. So you have one of those Brandon wound sets. I think the Brandon wound sets sound good. It's just there was something that I wanted different, and we tried 2 different sets. And it's just like everybody's interpretation of this stuff is so different and so personal, and we all interpret sound different, right? And so a lot of what I'm hearing are things, or what I expect are things that are not. They're not things that you can just say, "Oh, well, this will fix that." Like the chirp of your pick. The amount of bloom of a note. How is that achieved? Somebody has to know. I feel like Throwback knows. I feel like Lindy Fralin knows. Hell, even I feel like Larry DiMarzio. I feel like DiMarzio's sound really damn good. And unless you know those secrets, then sometimes it's just hard to achieve those tiny little things that I feel like some of these guys uh, they just do it different. Uh, could patrons get first dibs? I mean, maybe. uh, that would be unfair. But I kind of want to just let them, you know. I mean, there won't even be 10 sets because Rhett's getting some. I'll keep these. I mean, maybe I should tell him to whine more, but it's just a start. Where this is a grand experiment, an expensive journey. But again, like when you work with these people and you say, it doesn't have the note bloom, it doesn't have this or that. It's different than saying, oh, I wish it was tighter, or I wish it was more aggressive, or I wish it was darker or brighter, or whatever. Those are things that are easier to say, oh, okay, let's change the turn count. Let's change the tension. Let's change the magnet. The thing that you're trying to find is that last 5%, and that's what we did with this. We got these pickups. They sounded great. They sounded really good. And then when I started comparing it and really listening, it's like I'm trying to find that last little bit, that last thing that makes this set feel more me and better than other sets on the market. And again, that's just my opinion. There is a pickup set out there for everybody, because ultimately, and I've said this on so many streams, so many times, there are not necessarily bad pickups. There's just pickups that don't fit your guitar. And while I fully expect these to sound good in most guitars, we're gonna put these in different guitars soon. They're obviously not going to be for everybody, and you can't expect them to be, or else all these pickup companies wouldn't exist, just like pedals. What's my favorite 59 PAF style humbucker? Well, oddly enough, my favorite PAF style pickup is based off a 1960 PAF, and it's the True 60 set that RS Guitar Works and Lindy Fralin make. And I really love those. The close second, and it's not even a second, it's just like my other favorite set are these throwback SLE 101s, which are, I mean, exactly how a PAF should be. They look the part, they sound the part, they feel the part. But, I mean, they're really good. They're expensive. The True 60s are expensive too. Apart from that, if you're looking at more budget-friendly stuff, I really like the DiMarzio PAF Master. I think they sound really good. They're potted though, which changes that chirpy thing, that airy thing. It's different when you pot them. Keep some more questions and comments coming in. The stream's almost an hour, so we'll be killing it soon. But I want to show this as well. I showed the buffer, and I put this in the newsletter for the Airlane Drive. The next colorway, the black gold, we should have a few left. I can probably see how many we have left. But in that email, I also included this. We have 23 Airlane Drives left. So if you want one, go to mythospedals.com/shop. But there, it's the Olympus. It's back. And this version is in a smaller box. It's a 125B style enclosure. just like the Chupacabra or the Argo or whatever. And the Olympus was like a fun pedal. That was the first pedal I thought, well, I'm going to do this with fancy parts and make it kind of like how I used to make it in Sparta. And that's why I called it the Spartan series. And they sold okay. The first batch, they sold pretty well. And then I didn't make any for like a year. And then the next batch sold insane. We sold so many, and it was fantastic. And then it kind of slowly fizzled out. I didn't push it as much, but I thought, this is one of my favorite drive circuits. So why not make it part of the normal lineup? So we prototyped one in surface mount and threw it together, and it sounds incredibly good. I tweaked it so it's a little bassier because we were A-Bing it with the original. So it'd have a little bit more low-end thump. If the original was on 7, the bass is on 8 now. It's just a tiny little bit of a low-end kick in the pants. And the gain was increased just the smallest amount. But this new Olympus is really something. And they're easy to make. They're going to be $179. I feel like this is going to do incredibly well because I love this circuit, and I don't know. When you love something, you tend to talk about it. So maybe I'll just talk about it a lot. Let's hear the Yamaha. The Yamaha has different pickups, and it can't stay in tune for shit. So we might, I don't know. Maybe we'll put the actual Mythos set in that again one of these days. A lot of pickup talk. Let's see. Bare knuckle mule. Mules are awesome. The ones in my gold Novo, those are throwback DS55, which are made like the earliest prototype PAFs, which were put in 1955 Les Pauls. There are a few of those guitars out and about. I know there's at least 2 where they took a Les Paul standard and they put in these prototype humbuckers. They don't have pole pieces. They're 2 slug coils. And they sound great. They're incredible. Different than a PAF, in my opinion. It kind of sounds like a P90 meets a Filtertron is the vibe that I get. Will you be able to buy a single pickup or only in a set? Only set. Yeah, this is going to be a thing where we're gonna get them all. We're gonna match them so the outputs feel right, and yeah, they'll have to be sets. I haven't tried Lust for Tone. Lust Buckers. I know Jacob, the visual guy. I think he's played them. He's played damn near everything. A lot of love for the Olympus. Thank you. Awesome. Well, guys. Hold on. Okay. My nose is killing me. So I think I'm going to call it. That was a quick stream. It felt quick. But thanks for hanging. This is going to be a thing we do every Thursday. I'm going to try to anyway, as long as I feel up to it. I feel like I shouldn't have done it today because I sound like crap. I kind of feel like crap. But yeah, the Mythos humbuckers. I'm hoping that we should have them by the end of next month. They should be here. And that'll give us time to package them, and we're gonna, put it in a different box than the pedals, and come up with some stickers and labels for the box, like all that has to be done. So it's like, I feel like I'm putting the cart before the horse a little bit, but it's exciting. And these are things that I've been working on, and just felt right today. Will the pickups be available in Europe? I will ship them to Europe, but they're only going to be direct. So thank you guys for hanging out. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week and a great weekend. It's going to be a hot one here in Nashville. But any last minute questions before I go, real quick? I did go back to the Apple side. Got an iPhone again, because my Pixel has just been killing me. Warm up with some red wine. Man, I don't really drink anymore. Every time I do, I just feel bad. Box art time. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. For something I'm making so few of, I feel like I should just do a sticker, that we can like peel over it. Get well soon, Zatch. Man. Zatch. Haven't been called that in a long time. These in-ears drive me crazy. Let's see. Last minute things before we go. RJ shared a tiny little sneak peek of the Super Mario Set V2. That's coming. I have to finalize the stuff for the Cestus, which the prototype Jeff gigged with. He really liked it. Yes. Trying to think of anything else of note. I can't think of anything. If you want an Airlane drive, get a black gold one. How do you set the knobs on a Marshall to get it to sound great clean? If you have a master volume, turn the that's weird. I see messages retracted for very I saw a question about 3 albums recommended, and now it's gone. That's really strange. Cestus V2, yes to the Cestus. It's coming at some point, hopefully this year. Oh, the Positron, the 2022 version. I'm working with a dear friend to hopefully elevate that to another just insane level. It's going to be really dumb, but fun, because that's what that pedal is to me. Yeah. Oh, for the Marshall though, master volume all the way up, input volume all the way down, treble up, mids up, bass down, and then bring in that input volume to taste. All right. And I will show you one more thing. I feel like I have to, right? Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. So I slightly teased this. I don't want to show you the PCB of it yet. I teased this on the just on an Instagram story. Boom. And some people thought it was done. Positron. Is that the new Positron? Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. So, can you see that? Yeah, okay. Kind of see it. This is coming at some point this year. We're working on it. I think the art is pretty much done. The knobs are chosen. It has some stuff that's different from the big Positron, but hopefully this is going to be kind of a normal part of the lineup. The art is going to be less nerdy, appealing to everybody. How about that? And the controls are way simpler now. So we have, we'll still have focus and intensity for the volume and the gain. A treble and bass control, which I may rename instead of saying treble bass, because I feel like if you're going to name stuff focus and intensity, it should have a stupid name. And then this toggle switch down, when you switch it down, let's see, that sticker says loud, and it does something that the original kind of did, but this is doing something different. And that's a fun prototype that will be coming at some point this year. It might be best for us to drop it in October as well, so do both. So if you don't want hold on. If you don't want this, you can get something that might be a little more normal looking, not as Ghostbustery, you know. So we'll see. Yes, I think that's all I can share. So yeah, Hot Chicken V2. Man, I know. Maybe one day. I have all the stuff to make it. I even have some special relays for doing the order switching that I bought because they were going to run out of stock and they weren't going to be restocked for like a year. I bought these a while ago, and I spent an insane amount of money on one particular relay that I have not used. So I should make some Hot Chicken V2s, and I should use those relays so they're not sitting on a shelf collecting dust and not earning any money. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging. Thanks for coming. Thanks for putting up with my ludicrous voice and sinus sniffling. Thanks for suffering through all my junky guitar playing. And yeah, Mythos Pickups will be coming really soon. So I'll let you know. Bye.